In today's video we're just going to talk about the video file sizes on the Panasonic GH6. So a lot of people have asked me, out of the box, how much can you get onto a storage card with this camera? So in this video I'm just going to use the CF card as an example, because the CF Express Type B is the one where we can actually shoot all of our video modes onto. So there's no SD card in there. This card's a 128 gig card. It's not the exact one you'll get with a camera, but it's the same size, so it's a good, a good sort of representation of what you'll be able to get. So what I'm going to do is just switch the camera on. I'm going to jump into card format and just format this card quickly. There's a video linked above on how to do that if you don't know how to format cards. And then what we'll do is we're just going to jump into some of the video modes and just sort of have a quick look at how much we can get onto the card. We won't cover every single one because this camera's got lots and lots and lots of video modes, so it's that could take a long time, but what we'll do is just try and cover a good amount of sort of the top end and the low end kind of video modes. So as an overview, we've got MP4, which is most of our kind of the lower end video formats of the camera, which are still very good, but they're mostly 8-bit. There are a couple 10-bit ones in there. So I think there's 5 to 6 shooting modes in there, and then we've got our MOV file format, which covers essentially everything across the camera, so we can shoot pretty much everything the camera will do in that format. And then we've got below that our Apple ProRes codecs, or our Apple ProRes file container. So with that, at the time of shooting this, we can do 5.7K, but Panasonic have said with firmware updates they're going to roll that out to more resolutions and frame sizes, frame rates. So we'll kind of go through what's there, but at the time of watching this there may actually be more by the time you kind of get the camera or decide to buy it. So if we jump into these lower end ones first, so we can either access them through the menu here, and you can see we've got 5 in there, or we can jump into our Q menu or quick menu. Again, there's videos on sort of how to do that if you're not sure how to use these menus. So again, you can see we've got 5 there. So if we just jump into the lowest one, so we've got full HD 8-bit at 25 frames a second. My camera's set to PAL, so we've got 25 and 50s. So if we just jump into that, the card's been formatted and we've got 13 hours and 15 minutes in that lowest setting. So I mean, that's still going to be really nice quality HD footage. You're not going to want to shoot vlog or anything in most of these modes because most of them are 8-bit, so vlog's not going to look great in that. If you once you start to apply LUTs and things, it's not going to look very nice. So you want to really be doing that in the 10-bit formats, but you could shoot that in the normal profile for that amount of time, so it's quite a lot. And then the next one we've got 50 frames a second, so we can jump into that, and that will give us just short of 10 hours. Again, that's quite a good kind of chunk of video just on a relatively small card. I mean, even on the GH5, the minimum cards I would shoot on were really these sort of 256 gig cards. So it's 128 gigs, not massive. It's just I'm using this example because it's the one that comes with it. So and then you've got the 4K 8-bit, and that will give us 2 hours 49. So obviously a big reduction in time, but it's a big difference in resolution there. So that does affect that time. And then we've got 4K 10-bit and 25, and that'll give us 3 hours 55. And right up to the top one in this container, which is 4K 10-bit at the same 100 megasecond as the other one, so 100 megabit. So we've got 50 frames there. Oh, sorry, I've gone down to longer there. 50 frames, and if we jump back in, you can see that the top mode in this gives us 2 hours 49. And then what we'll do maybe is jump across to jump across to ProRes, because again ProRes doesn't really have much in it, so we could jump into there, and then we can say, I think we've actually, yeah, we've only got 2 modes in there. So we've got what have I got there? Oh yeah, HQ and the non-HQ version of it. So if we jump into those, I'll get them in a quick menu like we've been doing before. So the non-HQ version, that will give us 16 minutes on the card. So if you're looking to record ProRes in that highest resolution, you're either going to have to buy some very big cards, or you're going to have to hold out for, you know, SSD recording, because yeah, there's not a lot you can get in that really. Obviously 16 minutes is not a great deal, so you're looking at around half an hour with a 256 gig card, and that's not in HQ either. So in HQ we've got just over 10 minutes. So if you're planning on using that, yeah, make sure you get some pretty big cards. And if we'll jump back now to the MOV menu, and like I say, there's just too much in this for me to go through every single one, because you can see how much is in there. So if we'll just kind of go from one end to the other. So what we could do if we, no, actually, sorry, yeah, we'll go from, if we just do, so we do the lowest HD, so 25 frames a second, 420 10-bit. That will give us 1 hour 27. So that's in the lowest HD mode in the MOV file format. And then if we work our way up to, actually we may as well do 422 10-bit as well, and then that's 249, so 2 hours 49 in that. And then we've got a 420 HD, 50 frames a second, 254, so looking at roughly the same for quite a few of those. 422, 50 frames a second, 249, so you get a few hours runtime out of the HD modes, which is more or less acceptable if you've got you know, it depends how you're shooting, like how much you need to shoot. You know, for a day you're going to either need a few cards there, or you'll need to be dumping cards, or just be very good with deleting clips that you don't want, and making sure those cards are just the footage you need. If we come up to, so if we do a 4K 420 25 frames, we've got just under an hour, so 58 minutes there. Do the same again for 422, so there's 25 frames, 422 4K 10-bit again, 1 hour 53, roughly the same. 25 frames 422 in 4K, 21 minutes, so quite a big reduction there. Again, if you're looking to shoot in 422 10-bit 50 frames, you're probably going to need to look at getting a bigger card. I mean, in 420 4K 50 frames, we've got 1 hour 27, which again is not a massive amount of space to be doing it. If we'll take the we've got the really, like, the highest 4K mode on there, so if we take that, is 50 frames, 422 10-bit. This is the all intra one. We've got 21 minutes on there essentially, so it's not, again, not a great deal of footage. And you can go right up to the, if we took the same one that we had in ProRes, so 5.7K at 25 frames, we could click into that, and we get an hour there, which actually is it's a lot better than in ProRes. You know, that's more of a usable amount of time, but you know, still not a great deal if you want to go out and shoot a day. So in 50 frames there, we get again roughly an hour. So hopefully from that you can see, you know, more or less what you're kind of going to get from the camera. If you shoot open gate, you'll get an hour and a half out of that mode. So like I said, I've probably covered a lot more of the modes there than I wanted to, but it's just to give you an idea of, you know, roughly what you could shoot on that card, and at least that gives you an idea then of, you know, if you can shoot that on a 128 gig card, you can step that up to, you know, most different card sizes and work out roughly what you're going to be getting, and maybe what's feasible for you to be shooting in, whether you know, you're actually going to be able to shoot in those larger file formats, or if you're going to need to kind of stick to smaller ones. But the obviously the SD cards are a lot cheaper to buy, but they won't record all the file formats that are available. So there's a video linked above on what you can shoot on an SD card and what you need to shoot on the CF Express Type B card. But like I say, once SSD recording comes, it might sort of take away a lot of the expense from that side of it. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the upcoming firmware updates. But yeah, hopefully that's been helpful. You know, if you found it useful, please give the video a like. If you want to see more content on the GH6, then subscribe to the channel. If you've got any questions about any of the other features on the camera, then please just drop them in the comments.